It's 5 o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates.
All right, hello again, everybody, and welcome. We're leading you into baseball coverage here on 94.3 The Game today. Patrick Johnson with you. Great show that we have lined up for you. We're going to talk to the voice of the baseball Pirates on radio, and that is Dylan Johnson, no relation, coming up in just a few minutes. We'll be linking up with Dylan as he gets ready for the call of the game tonight. Also, Shane Winkler, the coach of ECU softball, he'll be with us. Pirates are hosting the Wolfpack on the softball diamond tonight, and that'll be at the top of the hour at Max Joyner Stadium. Myself and Brittany Hoyt will have that for you on ESPN+. So hope you'll tune in to that tonight. If not, go out to the Max where admission is free. The Pirates are looking to bounce back after a tough weekend where they were swept by first-place Florida Atlantic. They've got the Wolfpack in tonight, 2 games below 500 overall on the year. The Pack and the Pirates meeting for the second time. This is apparently something that's going to happen regularly, as they will play twice a year henceforth. So that's a good thing. And we'll talk to Shane Winkler a little bit about that, and also with an eye ahead with plenty of softball still to be played. Of course, ECU has an opportunity to get itself righted and win the conference tournament. In NC State, it's not looking like that's going to be the case. They got their final conference weekend this upcoming weekend against Duke, and they'd have to sweep that. They'll have the final weekend of the regular season at softball off. They're going to play off from conference play. They're going to play a game against Auburn, or a series against Auburn, but they'd have to have a lot of help if they were to even sweep Duke this weekend. But we'll get into that on the telecast tonight. A couple of things. You know, a lot of people have asked me, Patrick, when are we going to hear something about ECU basketball and its commits? And we heard our first one last night. Corey Calker, JUCO point guard, has committed. One-time Louisville commit, reportedly. Played at Eastern Florida State at the JUCO ranks and averaged over 13 and 4 assists and 4 rebounds this past year. He's a 6-foot, 180-pound guard. Shoots at a fair percentage, and I wouldn't say a great percentage, but he can make free throws, and we'll see. I know Mike Swartz is very excited about him and very excited about the Virginia native as somebody that they really wanted. So we'll see. Let's hope that Corey Calker will be someone that will be a contributor. I know they had a combo guard in, and there's a school in a P4 conference that learned that this combo guard was in, from what I understand, and doubled the offer what ECU was making to get a campus visit. So, you know, look, they're in the fight. It's just it's an arms race, and do you have enough money to spend on the arms? I know there's some post players in the fold right now, and that would certainly be a big thing for East Carolina. Word, too, from Hoist the Colors that freshman corner Eric Fletcher, redshirt freshman corner Eric Fletcher, has entered the portal. He is from Fort Myers, Dunbar High School, big athletic tradition down there. This was his first full off season with ECU. Logged defensive snaps, 30 of them total, appeared in games against Charlotte and Temple. So he was able to maintain his red shirt in the process. Second Scully player to get into the portal during the spring period. Of course, the first was Jake Garcia. All right. We got ECU baseball tonight. And Dylan Johnson is the first-year voice of Pirate Baseball on radio. Dylan joins us now here. Dylan, great to talk to you. Plenty of coffee, because it may be a lot of pitching changes tonight.
That's right. Settle in and bunker down, myself and Coach O. I'm just glad I'll have Coach O with me.
How is Birmingham? I guess you were outside amongst the people.
I was. I had a little tailgate set up there in the stands on the sitting on the UAB fan side as well. So that was interesting. I wasn't expecting a tent because I don't believe in the past there has been one. So that was a pleasant surprise because, as you could imagine, I burn quite easily. out in the sun, so that helped me make it through the weekend. But very interesting being out there in the stands next to the UAB parents, even more so, because kind of felt like you had to watch yourself a little more.
You're the enemy among them. So what happened Saturday? Obviously, the pitching kind of broke down, and that has been an Achilles heel at times this year. And there's it's going to be a all-staff game today, I think, for both sides tonight. But what's your assessment of what went down on Saturday?
Well, I think that just the way that Cliff put it yesterday, with the wind was blowing out a bit. It was very windy all weekend. Most of the time going, out from left to right, but as well as you combine that with pitchers missing spots, just throwing balls over the plate, and then, UAB jumped all over it. Now, it is very surprising in the sense twofold that, one, they weren't really a power hitting team much at all coming into the year, into that weekend. And then you combine that with how good the ECU pitching staff has been all year, and the Pirates had plenty of depth going into Saturday. The fact that, Ethan Young was able to cover the majority of the game on Thursday. Brad Pruitt goes a season high on Friday, and then Jake Hunter behind him. So it was just very surprising, both for UAB hitters to do that, and then for our pitching staff, which has been so good all year long, as everybody knows.
We got Dylan Johnson. He'll be on the radio. 5:45 is the airtime for the network. He and Coach O in Raleigh. They'll have the second game of the year between the Pack and the Pirates. And that is what we are looking at tonight. Drew Downs, any update on him that you can give us right now, Dylan?
Well, I know we heard that he didn't actually lose a tooth. So I know I had thought that based off what we saw on the broadcast and everything as well. And he told Cliff that maybe he had a piece of his gum come out when it kind of sliced his lip there. So
it looked gnarly.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where, as people say, you stay around in baseball long enough and you'll see new things all the time. And that was something I've never seen before, but I was glad he was okay. I think he just had to go get stitches. So I don't know whether or not he'll be available tonight. I don't think it's very far off, though, either way.
Dylan, NC State, and they just a couple weeks ago bested the Pirates in Greenville. It seems like every time NC State comes to Greenville to play, they bust out the small ball, and they kind of did that in the 4-1 victory. They come into the Pack ranked 25th, so this is always the time of year, it seems like, when Duke and NC State start to play their best baseball and set themselves up for the postseason. But you got the Wolfpack coming in tonight. They got an excellent pitching performance last time from Anderson Nance. We'll see how it goes tonight. But when you look at this matchup, based on the first one and then based on all the hype tonight and the excitement, what stands out to you?
Well, I think that the fact that this time NC State is coming in, winning 4 in a row, coming off a sweep this weekend, and have found themselves back in the rankings after quite a while out. So there'll be a lot of interest there. I'm interested to see with, Cooper Consiglio gets the start again, and he was okay in a couple of innings getting the start in Greenville last time. So we'll see, how he's able to go there. Not expected to go long again. But Anderson Nance, interested to see if he pitches again and if the Pirates are able to, hit him a little better at the plate. Coach O was surprised during the game. He gave up 1 hit in 5 innings, but at one point, I can't remember where it was along the line, where he had set up, 12 up, 12 down or something around that mark. And Coach O kind of looked at me and was like, has it really been that? And he knew he was pitching well, but he didn't know it was quite to that point. So, but ECU also is in a different spot than that first game with NC State as well. I mean, Saturday's game notwithstanding, ever since down in Charlotte, where the Pirates kind of looked at themselves and said, if we're going to, reach our goals, as Braden Burris put it, then it's time to go, and we've got to do it now. And so they've been a different team a little bit since then on a consistency basis. So it's interesting to see two teams that are kind of in a different place than even just 2 weeks ago where they were.
Jackson DiLorenzo goes tonight for the Pirates. What do you expect out of D'Lo tonight?
D'Lo's been good getting the kind of opener role in starts this year. So I expect a good first inning out of him. I don't know if the Pirates will put him back out for inning number 2 or not. That's, Cliff and Austin Knight, obviously. But he's done good in this role so far this year when he gets the start and he throws strikes, a lot of fastballs, and gets ahead and counts and works that way. And so I expect a good, scoreless first inning out of D'Lo because we've seen it this year from him in this role.
Braden Burris, top 20, top 10, somewhere in there in the batting average numbers nationally, second in the American. The year that he has put together is really remarkable, and he got off to a really good start in the first game of the year, got a couple of hits, kind of hit the skids. He's really, I think, done a nice job with the ebbs and the flows and the peaks and the valleys, especially for a walk-on freshman. He almost plays like he has nothing to lose. And his play's been impressive. You've seen about everybody in the conference and have studied a lot of the other teams in the conference, Dylan. So when you look at Rookie of the Year or Freshman of the Year in the American Athletic Conference, I got to think right now he's the leading candidate.
Absolutely. Braden Burris, like you mentioned, is up there in batting average and on base percentage, top 20, I think 11th in batting average in the entire country. So when you put that against everybody else in the American, but you combine the fact that he's been really good on the base paths as well. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but he's, right under 15 stolen bases on the year. He's played really good defense at second base and center, all 3 outfield positions as well. Makes, crashing catches into the outfield wall we've seen on more than one occasion, seen diving grabs as well. So really every facet of the game he has done a really good job in. I'm just impressed all the time with, every time he comes up and, as announcers, we're kind of setting the stage for his at-bat and what his season's been up to this point. And then every time he comes up and you're saying, guy's been an on-base machine, guys, 3-4 hit games this year, so on. And then he just comes up and once again, he'll get a pitch away, takes it on the ground through first and second into right field for a base hit. How many times we've seen him do that this year? He just continues to impress me, and the guy is a gamer through and through.
Dylan, what's it come down to tonight? How can the Pirates beat the Pack at Doak Field, Dale Park?
I think a couple of the things ECU has been doing since that last meeting. I heard Igo mention with Cliff yesterday about the team fielding over the last 7 games has been better there. It's because those 2 unearned runs hurt the first meeting in Greenville in a 3-run game. So that makes a little bit of a difference there. The team's been fielding really good since then. So that'll make a difference. And then the other one, just the quality at bats that they've been able to put together. Again, the second half of Saturday's game notwithstanding, but besides that, ECU had put up 12 runs in the finale with Charlotte, put up 7 on UNCW, and then come right back out and put another 12 in the opener with UAB, 16 hits in that one. So with the offense playing that way, it's night and day from the way the offense played in Greenville. So I think those 2 things will make for a different outcome because the pitching was good against NC State the first time as well. And I expect a bounce back performance coming out of Saturday. So I think they'll be just as good as they were last time.
Hey, Dylan, have a great call tonight and a safe trip back to Greenville, and we'll see you this weekend.
Thank you, Patrick. Thanks for having me on.
All right, the great Dylan Johnson with us here. He and Coach O coming up at 5:45, and at the top of the hour, they will have the blow-by-blow accounts here on 94.3 The Game and the IBX Media app of ECU visiting number 25 NC State. We've got Shane Winkler coming up in our next segment. He, of course, will be coaching against the Wolfpack in softball tonight at home here in Greenville. So I'm going to be soon leaving for that coming up at the top of the hour. Let's bring in Pilk here, though. Pilk, are you producing tonight, or are you sitting back and enjoying it as a Pirate partisan?
Yeah, I'm just going to be hanging out watching it at my place. William is producing tonight, so I'm going to hang out, play have 2 TVs going, watch the Canes playoff game, and watch ECU play.
And you're going to have a third screen for softball. I know you will.
Oh, yeah.
It goes without saying.
That's right. That's on the plus, so I will pull up that on my laptop.
All right, 3 screens, 3-screen Pilk. Anything in the world of sports that we need to let the folks know about? I think we've covered the transfers. We've covered we previewed baseball. We're about to preview softball. Anything? I sent you some audio. We don't have time for it today. That Jay Billis, who, I mean, your mileage may vary on Billis, who actually worked an NBA game the other night, worked the Lakers game on ABC. How about that? But Billis, I thought, made some really good statements on Coach K's Sirius XM radio show about how to go about doing things. And it's so simple, it's beautiful. Let's save that for tomorrow. But is there anything else that you're looking at out there that the folks need to carry with them as they go past the games tonight into tomorrow? Some thoughts. By the way, did you see Marcus Lemonis was on with Henry this morning with us on Talk of the Town. He's made a commitment to donate $50,000 to the Children's Hospital here in Greenville. And that is not connected to let's settle this situation. He's doing that, without a quid pro quo, sort of out of the kindness of his and generosity of his heart, and as someone that, is giving back to the community. So, no quid pro quo attached to this. But you know what? I think it is time for people to get out and really beat the drum with this city council about this flag. I mean, that flag's gorgeous. And, I mean, I've heard from Republicans and Democrats how beautiful that flag is. And it's a great thing to be known for. And the city council's got to get their act together.
They do. I mean, this, like you said, it's a bipartisan thing, dude. It's a company flying the flag of our country that they fly at all their locations. It's not a Greenville-specific thing. He didn't read the bylaws of Greenville and say, you know what? I'm going to start up some ruckus here. I mean, look, I grew up next to down the road from a Camping World, and that flag's been out there for God knows how long, and it's the same size. So this is not a just, hey, I'm going to do this to tick people off thing. I don't understand why people are ticked off. Just, there's bigger problems in the world, a few people to worry about. Come on.
All right. We'll get reaction to that tomorrow morning. But right now, a timeout. Shane Winkler on the other side as we preview ECU softball hosting NC State tonight from the Max. ECU softball taking on NC State. That game is tonight here in Greenville. So it's the Pack and the Pirates, both in Raleigh on the Diamond. In baseball, and, of course, here in Greenville at Max Joyner Family Stadium. Shane Winkler is the coach of ECU, and he has joined us here ahead of the game, which we really appreciate. Shane, I know you want to flush the weekend. Still a lot of softball to be played. And it kind of starts here tonight as far as energy and intensity and excitement with an in-state rival.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously not the results we wanted over the past weekend, but I mean, there's no better way to bounce back and re-energize than having an ACC opponent, an in-state opponent, come to our place. So it's one that you can get excited for, and our girls too. So it's like I said, it's a good way to bounce back because it's something that you circle on the calendar, circle on the schedule all year long. So it'll be a fun environment.
And I understand that this is something that the NC State people said they wanted to establish. That was, at least for this year, and I would think in the future, want to do this as a home and home in season.
Yeah, we're going to do so every year from here on out. I was just talking to their coach at the end of last year, and we both expect our RPIs to be in a decent place to where it helps each program out. It helps you to play on the road. It helps you to play a good opponent on the road. So we both are looking at it as an opportunity to in the future when our programs are competing to go to the NCAA tournament to help build those resumes. So it's a great chance to prepare ourselves for our conference tournament against a big time opponent. So it's the same thing for them. So it's beneficial for both sides, and I'm glad that they look at it as a rivalry opportunity for their team as well.
It's NC State and East Carolina playing tonight at 6:00 from Max Joyner Stadium, and that will be a first pitch on ESPN Plus between the Wolfpack and the Pirates. The teams met back a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, and NC State ends up winning in what was really kind of a back-and-forth game. When you look back on that game, Coach, what are some of the things that you feel like you could have done a little better?
Yeah, we made a couple uncharacteristic mistakes in the outfield. We usually have pretty good outfield defense, so we handed them a couple runs early on, unfortunately. And then the good thing is we showed our resolve and we bounced back. Got a big home run from an Emma Jackson, and so we showed that we can swing with them and did some really good things in the circle. Just didn't make plays where we needed to, and then one pitch here or there late. But again, it's a great environment getting to play against them. They look forward to it. We look forward to it. So we played them in a tight game, just like we did UNC a couple weeks ago. So it's always fun to play against those ACC opponents, but to get them back in our place, it's something that we look forward to.
Shane Winkler is the coach of the Pirates, and East Carolina and NC State coming up tonight from Greenville at 6 o'clock. Coach joining us here before the game, and we appreciate his time. Coach, it's been a fantastic year last weekend, necessarily notwithstanding, for Emma Jackson, who has really been up there, I would think, in the conference player of the year conversation. Her numbers, particularly in league play, have been outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, she's right up there with the Triple Crown leaders in all three categories, and average, home runs, and RBI. So she's been one that has carried us throughout so many weekends. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough bats around her to pick her up this weekend when she struggled at the plate a little bit, which is going to happen from time to time. But for us to be at our best, we're going to need her to do what she does. And obviously Morgan Johnson swung it pretty well at the end of the weekend, and then need Tanisha Anderson getting on before them. But our teams are our best, obviously, like most, when the top half of our lineup is doing what they do. And Emma's one that, if you go back to a weekend like Charlotte, can carry a team with her offense production, and she's done so a lot this year. So we feel like she'll be in a good place. We had 2 days off before today, so that's good for her physically and mentally to rebound. So we're excited about where she'll be, and she'll be relaxed. Like, I talked to her at the end of the weekend. Like, one weekend doesn't define her. You look back over the previous 40 games, and it's a pretty solid resume for her. So she knows what she is as a hitter, what she means to us. So we're looking forward to her bouncing back, and our entire team doing so.
Do you think a lot of this weekend, I know early on we say a slow start, but she got off to maybe not the start she wanted. I know you were talking a lot about early in the season she was putting a lot of pressure on herself, pressing a little bit. Did you see maybe some of that creeping back in this weekend at all?
Yeah, there was, because it's such a big series. I mean, you got the number one team in our league coming in, and they're going to be careful with her, so she's not going to see a lot of pitches that are good to hit. So when she's falling off a couple that she feels like she can handle, and then obviously now they're going to be able to start pitching in pitchers counts with her. So just like so many hitters, when things aren't going great, it feels like you start the at bat 0-2. I mean, you're 0-2 pretty quickly, and that's where she found herself this weekend. So I don't think she was over swinging or anything like that, where she was trying to do so early in the year. It's just putting the pressure of trying to carry the team a little bit. Like I said, sometimes you get in terrible counts over and over, whether it's a call that you didn't like or you foul off a pitch that you thought you should have handled. But she's had so much evidence of how solid she is throughout the year and how quick she can bounce back, and we're looking forward to that. We know what she's capable of as a hitter.
I know a lot of people have talked, and rightfully so, about the freshman Kendall Frost in the circle for you, but Taylor Apple has put together a very solid season after making the all-rookie team last year.
Yeah, and obviously we're going to rely on both of them, but I mean, Taylor, as long as we can get away from giving up too many free 60s, it's tough to hit. Her batting average against is really solid. The strikeout numbers are really good, and her numbers overall, it's just she puts herself in a little bit too much trouble once in a while with walking a few hitters. But I'm one that I've got the gray hairs already. I've been through it. I'm hopefully mature enough that I can deal with getting a lot of traffic on the bases if she's able to pitch around it. And for the most part during the year, if she's putting one or two on, she's still able to pitch around it. We gave her the opportunity on Friday where she put herself into some trouble early to to settle down and work through it. And she threw a heck of a ball game and gave us a chance in a game like that. And that's what she's capable of. So when she puts it together, she's as tough as anybody in our league.
Absolutely. The conference, very good once again. And the FAU team, Florida Atlantic, probably a top 25 caliber team. North Texas, who you'll finish with at home in the first weekend in May of the regular season, is a really talented team. And, of course, South Florida, who's hosting the tournament this year. So those three would seem to be the ones that would receive some consideration for the postseason as automatic bids. When you look at where the softball league is overall, how would you assess it, and what do you think the future of it is?
I mean, this league is so tough, and it always has been. But I mean, if you look at RPI rankings from conferences overall, I mean, we're sitting about fifth in the nation, so we're right outside of the P4 for how tough our league is, and it's been that way this year. Unfortunately, we're sitting in the middle of the pack right now, but we've shown, other than this past weekend, we're even in game 2, we had a chance to win, and we had a chance to pull out a couple more series if we get one big hit here or there in 4 different series. So we feel like we are right there in that mix as well. We've competed well with everyone in the league, but it is a dogfight every single weekend. But that's what you sign up for when you come to a league like this. Any kid that we recruit's probably also looking at some P4 schools. Any transfers we get are either coming from P4 schools or we're looking at P4 schools. So I mean, you know that's the level of play that these kids want, and that's what we're here for. So it's exciting week in and weekend out, and it's just going to be that much more exciting when you get to the conference tournament, when you feel like there's 6, 7, 8 schools that really have a legitimate shot of making a run.
NC State visiting East Carolina tonight at 6 o'clock from Max Joyner Stadium. You can head out and support the Pirates tonight as they take on the Wolfpack, and that'll be a game that is on ESPN Plus as well. Shane, when you look at next season, I know you got a lot of runway still left on this one, but when you look at the portal and look at your recruiting, give the fans and our listeners a little update on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some graduate transfers already in the portal that we started contacting. They're allowed to jump in before the portal window opens if you're a grad transfer. So we've had some conversations there already. We're going to have the opportunity to add a handful of kids to our roster, and we're going to load up even more so on the offensive side to try to balance our lineup out 1 through 9 with some additions that we'll look to make. But we'll have the opportunity to add a decent chunk this summer. We graduating some catching that is going to be important for us to get some portal help there, and then also solidify a spot or 2 in our infield. But we're going to look to bring in some bats potentially out of some P4 schools again. But we'll see what happens in the middle of May when the portal opens up. But we're going to utilize that to the best of our ability. Continue to develop our young pitching and some of the young players we have on our roster. But we feel like we made some big jumps this past year. Obviously, have played this season a very, very tough schedule, challenging schedule. And we feel like we've tested our program to where we can still compete for a championship this year. But with recruiting and using the portal, looking to the future, it's only going to get brighter for Pirate softball. So we got a lot to be excited about. But the game today with NC State, and then the rest of conference play this year, that's obviously what we're focusing on. But behind the scenes, it's already starting to go to work with the portal and what the roster shaping is going to look like next year and beyond.
And will you, with your schedule, when does that typically take place? I mean, I know there's it's kind of maybe a year out. Is that how that typically kind of works?
Yeah, when you're looking at the portal for sure. And then recruiting wise, we're looking at 26s and 27s.
Right.
With kids that we're looking at, but the portal, like I say, graduate kids, we're already on the phone having conversations, and some of those have 1 year left, some of those have 2, so that determines on what you're looking for. But I mean, it's a year-round process now when you're talking about the transfer portal and when certain kids can enter and what you're looking for. So it's not as big as a turnaround as you see some of the basketball programs that are left with 1 or 2 guys on the roster, and they're turning over a brand new roster every single season. But I mean, we've had great success, obviously, when you look at some of our players in the portal, and we're going to continue to do so. So it's exciting trying to find kids that are a great fit for our program, and we feel like we're going to have success doing so this summer as well.
And you talked about the challenge, you're challenging this year's roster with the schedule. How far out are you doing scheduling? Is it a kind of a year out? Is it a couple of years out with certain events?
Other than scheduling our midweek games for next year with the opponents that we know we're going to play, obviously we'll play home and home again with NC State next year. We'll play UNC, we'll play Duke, and then the Elons and Campbells and some of those. We got to schedule those midweeks. Other than that, most of our tournaments are done. The conference schedule's already done. So
okay.
We've got some big opponents again. We're going to play Georgia Tech and got Alabama on the schedule in one of our away tournaments. Notre Dame will be here. Maryland will be here. So we've got some P4s coming into our place for tournaments as well. So we're going to continue to test our program year in, year out. We feel like that's the best way to get us ready for conference play. We also feel like, obviously, from the strength of schedule standpoint, that's the best way to build a resume to be an at-large team.
Your chance to break some news on the Patrick Johnson Show here today. Will North Carolina finally come to East Carolina?
We don't have it set in stone yet,
Uh-oh.
but that's supposed to be the plan. We'll have the conversation with them when their staff took over. It was supposed to be a 2-for-1, so the one would be us next year. I'll even offer up a home and home from here on out if they would take it, but they are supposed to come to our place next year.
Okay. Well, let's hope they do.
Absolutely.
We're waiting for the Tar Heels to make a long-awaited trip to the MAX. All right, Shane, you got the Wolfpack tonight. What will it take to beat State?
Now we got to put it all together. We're going to need a good start from our staff. We'll utilize the pitcher by committee a little bit. Get some work in for a handful of our pitchers, but we're going to need our best players to be our best players. In our big games, when we've done well, the big players have shown up, like an Emma Jackson against Michigan, and some of those games that we've had throughout the year. So we're going to need them to have tough at bats, flush this past weekend, and play some solid defense. We win the game against them last month if we catch the ball and throw the ball the way that we usually do. So again, it's flushing, starting over, and thinking of it as the biggest game of the year, just like every game is going to be the rest of the way to prepare us for the conference tournament. So it's exciting. It's exciting to get the pack in here, and we'll hopefully have a pretty big crowd like we did this past weekend, excited about some really good softball.
Hey, Shane, thanks a lot, and best of luck against State.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Patrick.
Shane Winkler with us. Great to talk to him. All right, that'll wrap it up for today. I'm headed over to the softball stadium for ESPN Plus coverage tonight of NC State and East Carolina. Of course, we got Pirate baseball coming up in a matter of minutes with the pregame show with Dylan Johnson. Thanks to him for being with us today. Dylan will be joined by Coach O. All right, when we come back, Philip the Ref Pilkington will give you an update on everything going on around ECU and beyond in the world of sports. And if he needs to, he will walk you up to coverage. So see you tomorrow. Patrick Johnson Show. Also, Talk of the Town tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Go Pirates against the Pack. And we'll greet you from the Max coming up at the top of the hour on ESPN+.